Welcome back to the Talk Yours podcast, which I absolutely cannot wait to talk about because I'm getting a little bit tired of all the lists we're doing. Now we finally get a trade. We finally get some basketball news, something to get excited for the next 6 to 7 weeks or whatever, however long it is. And Donovan Mitchell is now on the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is just amazing news because I'm kind of a big Donovan Mitchell fan, and he's finally gonna win a championship this year.
This is news to me.
What do you mean?
This is very much news to me.
Yeah, big Donovan Mitchell fan.
Stop it.
Big Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, big. I'm
Big Donovan
decently
Mitchell fan.
decently big.
Decently big. Like how big are we? Are we talking like average?
Are we talking
You're an
3 to
average-
5 inches?
Okay.
Yeah. Like, what's
I'm a
decent?
medium-sized Donovan Mitchell fan.
Okay.
Where I won't buy his jersey, but I will always give him props, more props than people will normally give him.
What's the girth? on
So
that?
you're a dick
Yeah.
rider.
No,
Get off his dick,
I'm not
bro.
a big fan.
Get off his dick.
No, you're like an average fan. Maybe a little.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Who are the winners, losers of this trade? What happens?
So actually looking at this trade, I thought it was a really good trade for both teams. I think the Cavs, in all reality, they only traded one player out of their rotation, who was Lauri Markkanen, because Sexton was hurt and Obachi was a rookie. So Markkanen's really the only player they traded out of their rotation that they were actually using.
Yeah.
And they traded the picks, which it was a significant number of picks. But I feel like where the Cavs are.
Two
right
swaps
now,
too.
2 swaps too. I mean, it's
I mean, swap.
it was
decent.
I hate when people say like 5 picks. Like they are trading him, but like they get 2 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
so
3
it was
picks.
3 first-round picks.
Yep.
And that's in 2025, 2027, and 2029, which by that point the Cavs, I guess, would hope that they're a good team and aren't going to need to be drafting. But, we'll see what happens. But with where the Cavs are at, I think it was time to trade for a star. And
They already
Mitchell's
have
on a...
him, bro.
Well, yeah, but Mitchell's on a 3-year contract, so as those guys develop and get better, Mitchell's still going to be there,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna leave anytime soon. I don't know. I see. I don't like this for the Jazz a lot, especially because I want to believe that. What's his name? Adrian Wojnarowski. I want to believe he's just spreading false information. Because what he said yesterday was so crazy, I couldn't fathom it. He said that the Knicks offered, what was it, like R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, and
3 picks. He's got to be lying, bro.
that's a crazy
I
package.
heard other reports that it was just 2 picks.
Oh, okay. So I mean, but even two,
Woj
I mean,
has
you're
been lacking recently.
it's the Knicks. If you are the Jazz organization and you are Danny Ainge, then you know that the Knicks, even with Donovan Mitchell, don't have that high of a ceiling. So their picks is gonna be way more worth way more than the Cleveland Cavaliers picks.
That's true. I mean, I feel like the Jazz should have traded him to the Knicks. I don't know. I would rather have RJ over Sexton for sure.
For sure, 100%, 200%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the Jazz just got a whole bunch of players that they can't build around. These are players that Collin Sexton's a good player, but he's a sixth man. Let's be honest.
You're just hating. Bro.
I'm not hating.
I think
you're just hating, bro.
I'm not saying your average sixth man. He get like a really like one of the like a Lou Will.
He's better.
He's way better. He's a way better player than Lou Williams. What the fuck am I hearing?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying.
Dude, he averaged
I mean, we're talking about
25, bro.
Yeah.
He averaged 25.
On a losing,
Who
on a losing
cares?
team.
Who
What do you
cares?
mean? Like-
On a losing team, you're getting the buckets. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, I do. He doesn't really contribute anything else, but he's a pure scorer. I mean, we're talking about players like Jamal Crawford, Lou Will,
Donovan Mitchell's quite.
But
literally
Donovan
the same
Mitchell's
type
just
of
on a
player.
whole nother tier, and like he's gotten way better in his playmaking.
You're telling me Collin Sexton can't get close to that? I mean, he's still got time to develop.
If you're talking about pure scoring wise, Donovan Mitchell averages what?
25, 26.
What does Collin Sexton
In the regular
average?
And he
season.
averaged 24 that year that he was healthy, and 16 this past year when he played 11 games.
Scoring wise, I feel like people sleep on Sexton.
So
bro.
who do you think he could be?
Wake up.
Who do you think he will be? Let's not say can be. Who will Collin Sexton
I
be?
could see him making a couple.
No. I can see.
I could see him
What do you think he will be?
Damn, nigga, I can't even talk. I feel like he could be a multiple-time All-Star, easily.
So him. Let's say
Hold on, multiple time in this league is hard.
in the West now.
In the West.
You tell me he can't get 2 All-Stars?
It's gonna be
Mike
tough.
Conley made an All-Star team.
Mike
Cam.
Conley made a.
Mike Conley was an All-Star.
That was a makeup.
Mike Conley.
It was.
Because he was that guy that everyone was
I don't
talking
give a
about.
fuck
They
if
were
it's
like,
a
oh,
makeup.
he should have made an All-Star team, or he should be an All-Star. So they were just kind of like, why don't we
Mike
just give it to
Conley.
him?
Who deserved it over him with that year? I know there was someone.
DeMar
Like,
DeRozan.
oh, was DeMar? Oh, he didn't get it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan didn't get that All-Star. But I don't see, let's say, Victor goes to the Jazz. Victor and Sexton aren't a 1-2. They're not a 1-2 punch. Collin Sexton, as good as he is, he's not. Okay, this dude is just busy over here. Collin Sexton is he's just a scorer, and he's not one of the best scorers in the league. At least Donovan Mitchell, you can say, even if he's averaging 25, 26 in the regular season, when he's doing that, the Jazz are winning games. They're number 1, number 2, number 3 in the league, and he doesn't have to play a lot of minutes. I think it's a lot different than when you're on a tanking team. But I will say he's not going to be making an All-Star appearance more than once. I think once, because Mike Conley got that one All-Star appearance. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about what? Let's look at the West. For the future, we have Jordan Poole, who I think is better and will be better.
So, the problem with saying that is that Jordan Poole and Collin Sexton, the difference in the numbers they've put up at this point in their careers, there really isn't too much of a difference.
Jordan Poole's going to make an All-Star team on the Warriors.
Yeah, next to Steph Curry. Because Steph's going to be on the Warriors till he retires. It's just probably what it's going to be. Like, I can't ever see him leaving the Warriors.
But, I mean, I feel like in the next 2-3 years, Stephen Curry's definitely going to get a decreased role. Maybe not totally. Like, he's going to be still a starter. He's still going to be averaging 20, 21, 22. But he could definitely... Jordan Poole could do that next to him.
As a one option. But more likely be an all-star than Jordan Poole.
Because Jordan Poole would have to leave the Warriors. And right now, Collin Sexton is going to have the opportunity to be that guy on the Jazz.
But we know for all-star appearances, winning matters.
Winning matters, yeah.
Does it? Trae Young was a starter.
That's what I'm saying. You're telling me if he's on a bad team, but they're like a 12 seed, 11 seed, whatever it is.
Trae Young was a starter,
he averages great numbers. Like, say Collin Sexton comes out and averages 28 points per game. You're telling me he's not...
We can entertain this, but he's not going to do that.
Why not?
Why not? He's on a worse team.
Why not?
He's going to be in a more increased role.
Wait, what makes the Jazz that much of a worse team than what he did on the Cavaliers?
Have you seen their roster?
The Cavaliers roster 2 years ago when he did the 25 or 24 points per game was just as bad.
The Jazz quite literally might have the worst roster in the NBA aside from Collin Sexton.
And that's fine, but the Cavs had the same thing 2 years ago. It was definitely the top 3. It was top 3 worst. Top 3 worst team.
It was, and he was literally 3 points per game away from averaging 28.
And plus, who else is going to score on that team? They don't have a single other scorer on that team.
THT.
THT is going to be their second option.
That's it.
Let's talk about Sexton's floor spacers around him, because outside of Bojan, who's about to get shipped to LA,
he's got nobody.
He's not going. I would kill myself.
Well, that's what I mean. Like he has no spacing, and that's just not his play style.
He's
I don't know.
30 times a game. I mean,
he doesn't have Kevin Love to
The thing is, the Jazz were ass, and then Donovan Mitchell came in and he threw a bunch of shots up, and he was a good player.
Yeah.
You tell me Sexton can't do the same thing?
They had to go Gobert.
Yeah, they built Donovan Mitchell came in as a rookie and shot 30 shots a game, and he went off.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why can't Sexton do the same thing?
Because Sexton's not a star. Mitchell's a star.
You don't know yet.
You don't know that.
We've seen him in the league for 4 years.
A man who was drafted in 2018 and missed a whole year is already being evaluated as not a star. Mm-hmm. When he's not even near his prime.
How many stars are there in the world?
Corby.
No.
I don't think
answer.
You have to be a star
Does someone have to do you evaluate a player within their first 3 years and say that's it, they're done?
No.
Exactly. You just don't do that.
I'm not saying he's done, but
You just said he's not a star.
Okay, so I said Jordan Poole.
What the argument was, which was how good can Collin Sexton be, and what you said was he is only going to ever be as good as a good 6-man, a really good 6-man.
Okay, I won't say he can't be, but more than that, but he won't be. Like that's just my personal belief. I'm gonna have beliefs. I'm not just gonna say, oh well, that player. I'm not gonna say that for every single player.
Wait, what's the difference between can't be and won't be?
He doesn't believe in Sexton. He's a Sexton hater.
So
it's literally just a hater.
I do not believe it'll happen.
Right.
Technically, it can happen.
Technically, anything can happen. So
but that's my point.
Do you believe it'll happen? It's not. Don't stop beating around the bush. Do you think Sexton's good?
I think he's good. What?
You just said he's a 6th man.
That's good. Is Tyler Herro not good?
He's not a 6th man. We know this. He's starting all next year. You're saying Sexton should come off the bench all the time for being the team's best player right now.
For a championship contender, yes. Yeah. That's how he showed.
Rare championships are doesn't mean Allen Iverson doesn't have a championship.
Should we be giving every player the benefit of the doubt?
Allen Iverson should be a 6th man since he never won a chip.
That's not what I'm saying.
No. You're just saying
you're putting words in my mouth.
You're literally validating championships to the point where you need to win a championship to be successful.
I never said you need to win a championship.
You just said on a championship team.
I just said on a championship contender. The biggest role he would give Sexton was as a 6th man.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's not good.
That doesn't mean he has to win a championship to that. You're debating two different topics.
You're literally saying Sexton isn't good. That's all you're saying.
I did. Like, you're just putting words in my mouth. I said he is good.
Am I lying?
You could be good and not great. You could be good and not great. You could be good and not strong.
I heard him say that Sexton, his best role on a good team would be as a sixth man. And I personally
I'm talking before when he said that his ceiling is a sixth man, a good sixth man.
That's
at the
my
very
personal
beginning
belief.
That's his personal belief.
Okay.
And he's saying a really good sixth man
and I don't,
on a contending
No, he's
team.
saying his ceiling is a good sixth man.
He's a really good sixth man on a contending team.
Yeah, that's his ceiling.
I don't like the word ceiling.
You think his ceiling is a Jordan Poole or a Tyler Hero?
I don't like the word ceiling. I either believe a player's going to do something. Like, technically, every player has the ceiling of being great. Let's be honest.
No, every player doesn't have the ceiling.
No, they don't.
Of being great.
I mean, besides players like Isaac Okoro, no offense, because we're about to talk about the Cavs, but like, I feel like a lot of scorers in general can be Bradley Beals.
No.
Yes.
What the?
Not all scorers can be Bradley Beal.
I mean, if they make their craft better, yes. What I'm saying is,
What do you mean you have to have a certain ability to get to that point, and your ability is also your ability to work and put in work to make your game better. So when you talk about a ceiling that a player has, no, every
Cam, there's
scorer
only
doesn't
been
have
like a
ceiling like
handful of
Bradley
players
Beal.
that have ever averaged 30.
Yeah.
And Corby said every player has the capacity to be
I'm
that.
saying if they put in enough work, then yes. But obviously, a lot of NBA players, and I've heard quotes of people saying this of NBA like stars. I forget who it was. A lot of people actually don't work that hard when they get to the NBA. I really want to know. I think it might have been CJ McCollum, but like
Kobe
a lot of
said that too.
was it Kobe? Actually, it might have been Kobe. A lot of NBA players don't work that hard. I feel like if players who are like 6'7", 6'8", can handle the ball, can shoot, if they worked as hard as Kobe, they couldn't be maybe as good as Kobe, but they could be really good in the league.
So I don't want to hear. They're not cut from the same cloth. Some people want it more.
So when you talk about ability, your ability also relates.
Like your work ethic is part of your ability. It's part of your ability.
Right? So very few players, if any, have ever had the same work ethic as Kobe. There's like you could throw.
I'd say
LeBron,
no one.
Jordan, and those guys maybe up there, like the top echelon of
like
players
literally
ever,
goats.
You know, which we'll get to later as we talk about the top 10 all time. But
so can I just ask? You're a Warriors fan. When Jordan Poole was drafted, did you think he had the ceiling of being an All-Star? Be completely honest.
When I saw Jordan Poole drafted, no, I didn't think he had the ceiling of being an All-Star.
Ceiling is the absolute max you could do. You can't like.
But also,
this what I'm saying makes sense.
All I had seen of Jordan Poole was some play in the March Madness tournament and a game winner, and that's all I'd seen of him. When I saw them draft him, I was like, okay, I'm excited to see what he can do because he looks crafty. He looks like he has good ball skills. He's obviously raw. So
Jordan Poole sucked
but he
ass
sucked ass
in his rookie year, dude.
He sucked. Even his second year, he was in the G League for part of that year. And then he came up and started playing decently. But this year was the only year where he's been good.
So listen,
and how much of him being good do you think accounts to his teammates?
I think it actually accounts a lot. I think his ability to be good this year accounts a lot to his teammates. The fact that he's playing with Stephen Curry, and the fact that Steph Curry creates a lot of attention. If Jordan Poole was the best player on that team, I don't think he would have had the chance to develop in the same way that he did. Now that he's there, though, I don't know that it matters as much.
I think it's really good for young players like Jordan Poole to be put in a system to succeed because it relieves so much pressure from young players that it's like you have to be good immediately. Yeah. So Jordan Poole just focused on himself and it worked out. But like players that are like I saw Nasir Little talk about this. He was like, I'm happy I went to like Portland because like there was no pressure for me to be good instantly because we were already a good team. I just need to become better myself. Whereas people, like, if you look at it, bro, like, in the top 10, like, in the last 10 years, people that are picked, bro, a lot of them, like, just, they don't end up shaping out to what they could be. And it's because there's just so much pressure placed on those young players. But, like, back to the topic of Jordan Poole, what were we saying?
So this is my thing. What does the term ceiling mean to you guys? Because my thing is, a ceiling is the absolute max best you can be. You can't be above the ceiling. Like that like the term itself doesn't make sense. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the ceiling of a lot of players is higher than you think. Like
okay, but everyone has a different definition for what a player's. You don't know what their ceiling is until their career is over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'll just give the players the benefit of the doubt. Like, hey, your ceiling can be extremely high, like one of the best players in the league, but you just have to put in that work for it. You can't. I'm not gonna say your ceiling is like Sexton. I'm not gonna say your ceiling is a 6-man because that would mean that I absolutely think he does not have the possibility of being better than that. That's the ceiling. You can't get higher than the ceiling.
There's something to be said about natural gifts, though, in terms of when it comes to evaluating a player's ceiling.
Jordan Poole is not naturally gifted. I don't think so.
Jordan Poole is an NBA player, so
well, okay, so that's my point.
But Jordan Poole obviously worked really hard in the offseason to get to where he's at and develop, but what I'm saying is when it comes to natural gifts, when you're talking about the best players in the league, of which Jordan Poole is not, when you talk about, let's say Steph Curry, for example, you want to talk about scorers. You can shoot as much as you want in the offseason, but there is some sort of natural ability
I think it's
that
just,
Steph Curry has.
It's like God-given, bro.
It's,
It actually
some
has
of
to
it's
be.
just God-given. It's the same as Jordan's athleticism or LeBron's physique. Some of that is just God-given talent, and there is no way you're going to replicate that with hard work.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
So, I mean, we'll get past this topic because we kind of went off topic. But I will say there's not a single way that we would actually know players' ceilings. That's my point.
That's true.
Know?
But let's get back to what we were talking about with Sexton, right? You're saying, how good do you think he can be? And what you're saying is, you think he can be as good as a really good sixth man on a contending team.
Yeah, that's my belief of him. Now, just because he's going to start and maybe make the first round, second round, maybe even conference finals, and he is a starter, that does not mean that what I said is not true. That doesn't mean I was debunked. That means that
I don't know. I feel like
he was in the wrong role.
Because Bradley Beal's ceiling isn't a sixth man on a really good contending team, but Bradley Beal's also never made it. Has he even made it past
to
the
the
first round?
Eastern Conference semis with John Wall. They
No,
lost
but
to the
by
Celtics.
himself as the best player.
Hell no.
Never.
Has he made the playoffs as the best player? Has Bradley Beal made the playoffs as the best player? He made the playoffs with. He made the play-in.
No,
he made the playoffs.
Westbrook made the play-in because Beal was hurt. So
yeah.
If Beal would have been healthy.
So I mean, like it's like I mean, I like how you compare Beal and Sexton because they're both just primary scorers. They don't really do much else.
I think they're just on totally different levels, but I
think they are too. But like when you look at the pure scorer nowadays, it's like it's so like not the NBA. Like Bradley, people like Bradley, like they get buckets, they do what they do, like they get it all, but like it just, I don't know why, like it just doesn't work, bro. Like you need it. The thing is, I think the reason is those scorers, they have the numbers and the stats to just get the money, like all like the max. You saw the Bradley Beal contract, and then to build a team with the remaining money when the guy can't play defense and he can't do shit else but score the ball, it's kind of hard to win.
Right.
So it's just.
I mean, if you do just look at the past 5, 6, 7 championships. I mean, what last year? I guess Klay Thompson. He's not just a scorer though. He's kind of also a defender. He moves
when was
off
the last
ball.
just guy that just scores
For the Bucks,
won
it
like
was
a chip as a one option.
Who was the shooting guard for the
I
Bucks?
guess it was just Steph in 2015.
Steph even then wasn't just a pure scorer, bro.
No, I think he led the league in steals too one year around then.
Yeah.
And he was so he had good hands. He was a defensive liability when it came. Damn. When it came to on-ball defense, but he was surrounded by good defenders. Bogut was a good rim protector. Draymond is Draymond.
Like I'm trying
Clay
to. Cam, do you remember Monte Ellis?
Yeah, I remember Monte Ellis. The Warriors.
A scorer. He's just a scorer. Yeah. Like he's like a Colin Sexton.
Allen Iverson.
I actually like the comparison. I think Monte Ellis and Sexton are the same tier.
Monte Ellis was a hell of a player. Did he not make All-Star teams?
I think he made all.
That's what I'm saying. Like. There's potential for that, but like scores in today's league are just like, not even in today's league. I feel like if you look throughout history, bro, you got to be able to do something else besides score the ball.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't win as like a 1-2 option, getting paid that much.
I feel like in today's NBA, you need a star small forward and you need a shooting guard to complement that small forward. So if you're a player like Sexton, where you're not on the level of Levine, Beal, Anthony Edwards, you need to complement the other players around you.
Monte Ellis never made an All-Star team.
That's crazy. He was
a
bucket, bro.
25.5 1 year too, and did make the All-Star team.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it? Like I just if you're gonna be a scorer, you got to take a pay cut. That's like.
But yeah.
That's
we went. I was just gonna say we went so off topic, but if you want to go ahead and say something.
No. I was just saying, like looking at that, then Collin Sexton, 4 years, $72 million.
It's a good contract.
It's not bad. That's
18 mil a year for
you.
That's a good contract for a scorer.
I'd even pay him a little more. I mean,
I'd pay him 20 million a year.
20 million is good.
But like 19, that's a good contract if he can get the right piece. If he gets Victor
and some other pieces.
He gets if he gets Victor and then like a player like Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
No, I'm not saying like Scotty Barnes. I'm saying like Scotty Barnes. That mold, like that 6'9", 6'8" player.
You think if you put Andrew Wiggins on the Jazz?
No.
You think you put Mikal Bridges on the Jazz?
No.
You think,
No.
You're talking about 6'9".
Like 6'9", like I don't want to be disrespectful to like Wiggins because he was an All-Star, but I feel like Scotty Barnes is just better than Wiggins.
Not right now.
I just feel like he's better.
He's really not right now. Wiggins is the better defender.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like if you were to put him on the Jazz. Like just like
he fits better into that role.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think he fits better into that role too because he can also be a playmaker.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you put someone like Kawhi. Kawhi, Victor, and Sexton could win you a chip.
Kawhi is
Yeah, it's one of one.
It's like he's
Yeah,
Kawhi.
he's Kawhi Leonard. He's Scottie Pippen. Like it's
it's
the same type of shit.
Okay. I also wanted to say, so the trade does, the picks are, 20, 25, 27, 29. The swaps are 26
They
and
kept
28.
24.
I think this is really, I think it's just kind of dumb from the Jazz, because you look at a team like the Jazz who are trying to rebuild for the future. Sure, I mean, you're getting picks from far out.
Like them and the Thunder have the same amount of picks over the next 5 drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but okay, at least the Thunder, it's at least split a little bit between, Thunder are going to get more picks next year, the year after, year after. Do the Jazz want to rebuild for the next 7-8 years? I mean, the Cavaliers just ended their rebuild in 4 years.
If you look at what Danny Ainge does when he comes into the front office,
He gets
same
picks.
thing when he did
With the
Boston.
Boston. It was
He
a 2-3
trades
year
away the
build.
stars, blows up the team, puts his own guy into the head coaching position, and then he
builds it.
He builds it. So I don't know. I think this team can be a playoff team in the next 3-4 years.
You just got to give it time. You just got to give it
So
time.
actually, looking at what they got, this is in total what they got for Gobert and Mitchell. For players, they got Malik Beasley, they got Patrick Beverley, who they then traded for THT and Stanley Johnson, Leandro Balmaro, Walker Kessler, Collin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and Ochai Abaji.
It's like solid.
And it's a solid
young
group of players.
It's a solid young group.
Abaji probably isn't going to get
It's a solid
much
young
better
group.
than he is right now, but he can come in and be a
They
contributor.
got Vando too, did they not? They got Vando. Jared Vando.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, they got a solid young
Yeah,
group.
they got Jared Vando.
Of all rookies to get, I think Abaggio is the worst rookie to get. Not because he's the worst rookie, but because he's just so old. He's a player who, like a Herb Jones. He's old. He can go to a team and win.
Dame came in the league after 4 years of college.
Yeah, but for what the Jazz are trying to do, I don't think it makes sense to have that rookie on their team. But who knows, if he sticks around and he's like 26 by the time they're good, he could be a solid contributor. He could be a 3-and-D wing.
I mean, I know his prospect is kind of 3-and-D. I don't really see the D that much. Pause, but like, I also think Sexton and Ochai just don't complement each other. I feel like if you want a young core, you at least want them to kind of complement each other.
You can say that, but like we haven't seen him play a single minute together yet.
Yeah.
So
we saw him in college. We saw him in summer league. He's a catch and shooter, and even when he catch and shoots, he can create off
People
that.
change their
You don't know
game.
what he's gonna
We have no idea. We can't say anything. But like I hate talking about like rookies that much because we literally don't know what they're gonna be. We don't know at all. Once they
guess.
start playing, then you're like, oh, this is what.
I mean, Mitchell was supposed to be a defensive person, and he
I know, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Opposite.
Like rookies, like you have no idea what they can become.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little bit different for a one year one and done versus a 4-year, but that makes sense. So, anything else you guys want to talk about this trade? I have one more thing, but if you want to go ahead.
I don't really have anything else. I mean, I just think, I don't know, Jazz tickets are going to be cheap, so that's going to be nice.
Wait, hold on. When Ainge took over the Celtics and he traded everybody, did he trade for IT?
They did, because he was on the
Who'd they trade IT for? Because like I'm trying to think about how the Celtics rebuild, and I was like, how did they become good again? Because they had IT and they had Avery Bradley, and they built around that, and they got pretty far. Then they traded IT for Kyrie. But I'm trying to, that whole thing that started it was like the IT trade.
I also, by the way, just don't. I don't
it was
like
from Phoenix.
It's from Phoenix, because the Kings originally traded him to Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I think doing this Danny Ainge thing with the Celtics versus the Jazz is so different because the Celtics actually are a decently big market. I mean, they're going to get free agents. The Jazz will not.
I just think Danny Ainge is trying to replicate what he did in Boston.
Yeah, he did. He traded for Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I feel like what he's trading for Isaiah Thomas then, I feel like he's trying to do the same thing by trading for Sexton now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work as well because Isaiah Thomas was one hell. Oh man, they're like similar players when you think about it.
They are, but I think Isaiah Thomas was just that next tier player.
But nobody thought he would be.
No one thought he would be.
Nobody thinks Sexton can be.
So we'll see what Sexton.
I don't know.
I'm in the minority. I don't think no one thinks so that Sexton can't be anything.
No, I'm talking about IT. Like when IT was good, but no one thought he was going to be like Eastern Conference Finals good.
Yeah, no one thought he was going to be in the MVP race.
Yeah, a 5'9", that's crazy.
Okay, so I have one more question before we wrap up this specific topic. As a duo itself, which is the best backcourt? I think this would be the best backcourt duo in the East. Mm-hmm. I guess there's 3 now. There's Philadelphia, which I didn't even think about at first. I just thought of it now. Maxey and Harden. There's Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. And there's Donovan Mitchell.
Levine. I feel like that.
Are we putting Lonzo in that tier? Because we're talking about all 6 of the players that I mentioned so far.
I feel like Lonzo and Maxey are around the same type of player in terms of like what
Maxey
they bring.
gives you more offensively.
Defensively, no.
Lonzo gives you more defensively.
There you go.
So I mean, that's a tough comparison.
I guess you could say the 4, but I would definitely put the Bulls 4th. So I mean, I don't think that's even
I
a
feel like
question.
we're missing a
Okay,
team.
so of those, I feel like we're missing one.
I feel like
too.
we're missing a very obvious
So-
team.
Well, especially these
Butler
are young.
Butler plays with 3. Middleton
Brooklyn.
plays with 3.
Brooklyn has Kyrie and
No, Joe
Seth
Harris
Curry. Yeah.
or Seth Curry or
Fuck,
whoever
I feel like
they-
we're missing a team, but I just.
I think it's Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so of those 3,
Someone missing.
Maxey, Harden, Garland, and Mitchell.
I'm taking
then
the
Trey and
Cavs. No, I'm
DeJounte.
taking the Cavs. They have the best
I'm-
player in the whole, like the best 2 players.
You want
in
to just
the
rank
house.
all 3? Should we do that?
Cavs, Hawks, whatever you said. The Sixers.
Sixers.
As a backcourt, I'm taking the Hawks over the Cavs.
So that's
You could, yeah. I'm not. I that's probably
It's
the right answer. But
specifically just for fit. I'm not even saying talent wise because
However, I
I'm-
do think that on the team, that Cavs backcourt fits better than the Hawks backcourt because by themselves, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland both very talented offensive players, but not the greatest defensive backcourt. 2 undersized guards, and you're gonna have to run one of them at the 2, which isn't
Mitchell is a
gonna really-
2.
I mean, he is a 2, but he's 6'2",
He's 6'1".
6'1". That's gonna be. It's just defensively tough to play.
I mean, he does have the wings. Mitchell has potential
He has
defensively.
potential.
He does.
I
I don't
think
know
the
why
biggest
he
thing is
doesn't
he's like sometimes people see that he doesn't give effort on defense.
Yeah.
So if he gives effort on defense, then
If
I
he buys
think he can
in.
be really solid. And if he buys in, but then again, they also have Mobley and Allen. Who are both
Yeah, actually, it doesn't
A-tier
matter because if they get
defenders.
blown by, the paint
Like,
is locked down.
That guy. No, that's crazy to say. I'm not
What?
gonna say. I was gonna say they have 2 Goberts, but that's crazy to say.
it's not.
You can't say 2 Goberts.
You
No,
can't say
you
two
can't.
Goberts.
you
Yeah,
can't.
because Evan Mobley can actually guard the
Perimeter.
perimeter.
Yeah.
So you got Gobert
hate,
plus.
Gobert hate is corny. I'm
Gobert
not gonna
premium.
lie.
Gobert deserves his respect.
He
Honestly.
does. He does.
I mean, for what if you?
If you, I
He
mean,
does what you-
he does what he needs
everything
to
you
do.
could ask
That
him to
Jazz
do.
team was horrid on defense.
Yeah.
But I am
Horrible.
going Hawks, Cavs, Sixers. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next topic.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we don't need to talk about the Knicks at all. Like, what are we gonna say?
Knicks are the
Knicks,
Knicks
they're
are the
poverty.
Knicks
The
are the
Knicks
New
are the
York
Knicks.
Knicks. The Knicks are the Knicks.
Shout out Stephen A. Smith.
Did you see what they said about Shea?
What they say about him?
So they said they're looking for the next disgruntled star in a bad situation, and they're hoping that it ends up being him.
Yeah.
So that's what they're banking on right now, is that Shea's gonna end up requesting a
so they want a
trade.
disgruntled star in a bad situation, so
To
they
come
can
to
be a-
another
So they
dis-
can be a disgruntled star in their bad situation. The Knicks need to give up on trying to trade for stars and really.
The Knicks
try
need to rebuild. They need to go. They need to go 1-72 or 81. They need to go 1-81. They need to trade
Their
everybody.
biggest mistake was not trading Julius Randle and tanking for Victor.
I think both.
They
that
already
year-
invested so much in this core now. Like it's
Signing Brunson and it just.
The Knicks' worst mistake was
There's
making the
so
playoffs.
much money into those. It's what $372 million
Yeah.
into those 3 players.
which is insane.
Whole bunch
Look,
of
RJ
that's a
has potential
11
for
seed.
sure, but Brunson, God, Brunson's just. How much better is Brunson gonna really get?
How much is he gonna get? Because like he was succeeding in a 5-out system.
And unless Randall somehow does another 180 and goes back to being an All NBA caliber player, I just don't see them doing anything with this.
Cam
core.
Brunson,
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Mavs highlights recently, not even highlights, just games. Dude, Brunson was so successful in those playoffs because they would just run 5 out and he would just like bully guards.
That's it.
Like that's it. Now like when I look at the Knicks as like bigs, bro, like I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it. I don't.
He's one of those like guards that if he was like 6'8" or 6'9", he'd actually be overpowered. Like he actually has the skill set to be like a big.
Brunson's nice, but I don't know how much better he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be worse this season.
But I think it's kind of sad. This is the Knicks. Brunson's exactly what the Knicks needed, and they're still don't get that much better. I don't know how that works because like
Is he what they need?
the Knicks haven't actually had a good
You know
point
what
guard
they
in like
need?
You know what they need?
A good team.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
It's just like,
They're
oh
2
man,
players away from
oh
contending.
man, the Knicks.
I feel like take deep
How many-
breaths.
I know we're gonna get to
Take
this.
off.
I know we're gonna get to this later. How many nationally televised games do the Knicks have this year?
That's like good.
Okay, we'll do it right now. Okay,
Let's do
so
it now.
the NBA released how many national televised games each team has, and these are I'm gonna say the numbers without NBA TV because
You're a hater.
I'm not because okay when you're watching NBA TV like are you excited when your team's on NBA TV?
I gotta watch a
Corby,
game.
I'm excited whenever my team
plays.
Okay, that's not what I meant.
I watch whatever.
Like,
game.
but what I'm saying, the difference between League Pass and NBA TV, are you actually like okay, this is actually the big stage.
I
People are
genuinely
watching.
think it doesn't matter.
No, because casual NBA fans don't watch NBA TV. You know what I mean? So like
Corey,
that,
are you-
it's not
are
actually
you a
doing
casual?
anything.
Are you admitting to be casual right now?
This is what I mean, okay? When NBA teams, when you're like, let's say,
Okay, point made. Let's just
Okay,
let's just get.
whatever.
Who
Okay.
cares? We're not getting into this shit.
I mean, it's clear, but whatever. Okay. So without NBA
Just let 'em
TV,
have it.
these are the listed teams. I'll just go ahead and name them all real quick. Warriors have 30, Lakers have 27, Celtics 25, Bucks 23, Suns 22, Mavs 21, Clippers 20, Grizzlies 18, Nuggets 16, Nets 13, Knicks 13, Heat 11, Pelicans 11,
New York.
Wolves 10, Bulls 10, Hawks 8, Cavs. I had to make sure I saw that right. 5.
Wow.
That was before the Mitchell trade.
That was before the
So I think they will change it up.
That'll
But
adjust as the season goes.
Raptors 4, Memphis 3.
Memphis 3?
Oh, sorry, Hornets 3. Yo, I
Okay.
cannot see with these sunglasses on.
No, you already said Grizzlies 18.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know. That's why I just said Hornets 3. Blazers 3, Wizards 2, and then Pistons. All the tanking teams have won, pretty much. So biggest surprises there.
Knicks at 13.
Knicks.
I
Well, I mean,
understand
at the end of the day,
It's
it's,
not
New
a-
York. It's New York, bro. It's the biggest
but
market in
how
the
much?
league.
How much Evan Fournier can you watch in one?
National
given year?
TV, NBA,
National TV.
Evan
like,
Fournier.
it's-
To be honest, I'm not surprised.
It doesn't. It honestly, I thought they would have more than
I actually
13.
thought they would
The
have
Yeah.
more.
Garden's
Lie.
always loud. It's always entertaining.
No matter how bad the Knicks are, they will always have national televised games because it's New York.
So I
That's
will
like,
say-
some teams are just like
Lakers-
that.
Lakers at 27.
It's. I mean,
It's LeBron. It's
it's-
LA.
I actually did research on
That
this
makes
because
sense.
I wanted to see like what it was like. The last year really reminded me of the 2012, 2013 Lakers with Dwight and Nash. So I looked up how many national televised games they had that year and the year after because they obviously went terrible. The year after they actually had the same amount of national televised games as the Lakers now, which is 27. So they have 27 back then, 27 back now. And then this season when the 2013 Lakers, after they had 27 national televised games, they won 21 games and were like 14 in the conference. The next year they still had like 20 national televised games. And I think it's just because Kobe Bryant was on the team, and for
It's the
that
Lakers.
reason it's the Lakers too. 1, 2 they had Kobe. 3 it doesn't matter. LeBron could go to the Pistons and they would have 27 nationally televised games.
Move this forward. Yeah, I think so.
It's just
Honestly,
LeBron. Like it's just LeBron.
The most surprising one to me is probably the Suns with 22. I understand
What are
that
the
they're a
Mavs at?
good
What
team.
are the Mavs at?
They were a good team.
21.
21. And even that, I think they're a bit high for sure. But if you're trying to get like casual NBA fans to actually become NBA fans, having them watch the Suns is not a good way to do it, in my opinion. I mean, I guess Chris Paul might be retiring soon, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years. I guess he's vegan now. Maybe it's like 4 to 5. But I don't think people want to watch the Suns.
You know what's
I
surprising?
would
to
love
me?
to watch Luka dismantle the Suns.
The Timberwolves and the Pelicans having
Opening night.
I'm so happy. Dude, did you see that parlay I sent you? It was
yeah.
like me, but I got every open night game and $1, maybe 6,000.
I mean, you bet on the Hawks to beat the Rockets at minus 500. $1 would win you 16
I'm being
cents.
dead
I'm not
serious.
doing that.
That minus 500 added literally $3,000. Like
And that's what's gonna sell you. It's crazy.
You know what? You know what does surprise me though on that list? I don't know if it surprises anyone else. Raptors with only 4 nationally televised games.
No, I can see it.
They've got
That's
they got the
so
reigning
low,
Rookie
bro.
of the Year.
Well,
the
I mean,
Raptors
you
are
look
the
at the
most-
teams above them.
Raptors are the most disrespected team on that list, without question. They won a chip like 3 years ago, and now they got 4 games.
Okay, so what?
Yeah, but
who'd they
still,
win a chip
It's
because?
a country, like a whole country gets 4 games.
Yeah.
Come on. Bro.
Well, I think
Well, it's nationally televised in the U.S.
Yeah, in the
More
US.
games than
Yeah,
Canada.
that
Canada
makes
has their own
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
that makes
satellite.
sense.
So
But it's I don't know. I
They
find
have
that
like a
funny,
Canadian Shaq too.
yeah.
though.
Is
Yeah.
that just Paul Bunyan?
Cam.
No. Legitimately answer the question. Is Paul Bunyan just Canadian Shaq?
I don't know even who that is, to be honest.
You don't know who Paul
You don't know who
Bunyan
Paul
is?
Bunyan
Imagine
is.
like Bjorn but bigger.
Bigger. Yeah.
And
just
with a beard.
at the beard.
And a pig? What does he have? He's got some sort of animal.
Who gives a fuck about Paul Bunyan,
This
Cam?
is a serious conversation, okay?
You know who
We're
I think is
discussing
actually pretty
the
high?
national culture of an entire country, and you're not taking it
Let's talk
seriously.
about the Colts. The
Okay, let's see.
Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis.
Will Jonathan Taylor.
And this might seem they just made the Eastern Conference Finals, forced the Celtics to 7, but the Heat beating at 11. When you look at the teams
That's
below
some
them,
hate.
it might still be too high because this feels like
I'm
okay.
gonna be completely honest. The Heat were the number 1 team in the East this year. I did not watch a single Heat.
I think they're a boring team.
How much defense can you watch and enjoy?
They
You
are
know,
a good.
They're a good team. I'm
that
not
I
watching
cannot
defense.
watch.
I'm not watching
It's
defense.
hard. It is I watched. That's a lie. I watched one game when they played the Warriors.
The Heat are cool.
Not two?
The Heat are cool.
No, just one.
But it's they don't have the Heat don't have any attractive names
Jimmy Butler in the playoffs.
Yeah,
is fun
for
to
sure.
watch, but Jimmy Butler. In
I'm
the
talking
regular
about like
season is
flashy names that are like, wow, this is a guy like Jaw. This is must see TV. Like they don't have any player
they're
like
just
that.
a solid team.
They'll win games on you. They'll pound the rock. They'll steal it. It's just boring to watch.
Yeah.
And grind Grizzlies like.
Yeah, I mean it really is.
It really is. It's like they'll get wins. It's just not fun.
I the way they play, but I given the option between watching them and watching like even the Pistons.
I'd rather watch the
I'll
Hornets. I'd rather watch the Hornets.
Pistons.
I'm surprised the Hornets are so low.
I'm not.
They have like one of the. I mean, all right.
They have one player. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but that one player is like whenever you
Miles Bridges,
shut up.
DJ Washington, Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl
Whole
Harrell got
bunch of
found
drama,
not guilty.
He
He
got
found not
but
guilty.
he's still a free agent.
Yeah, he's not gonna get signed.
He's not gonna get signed.
Okay.
But like LaMelo, I feel like can at least get you like 5 games of
Can
national
we just
TV.
talk about how
They have 4.
Michael Jordan's
Three.
presence has affected that team in terms of like just it going to complete.
Dude, no, did you see what
It was always
what,
bad.
what Lamelo's
No,
Cam
I'm-
said today, Cam?
What?
They went to the Hornets front office and they were like furious that they have made 0 moves this offseason. They're like LaMelo literally will leave this team.
I have
Unless
a
you make
suggestion.
moves.
I have a suggestion, okay? LeVar Ball said he would beat Michael Jordan in a 1v1. Here's the opportunity.
Cam.
LeVar Ball and Michael Jordan should 1v1 for LaMelo's future.
Oh.
You're telling me that's not must-see TV?
I really. What does Michael Jordan do every day? Like,
shower?
Takes it. He just showers. Just like,
Showers.
you know.
if I was a former NBA legend, I'd be so bored once I retired. Like, I don't know. I guess it's relaxing.
Gambles.
He probably does.
He can just legally gamble whenever he wants now. What do you think he
He
does?
definitely gambles on who always gets minutes. Oh no, he definitely gambles on the LaMelo unders
James Borrego.
because he gives him no minutes.
He does what you do, but he does it in a mansion.
That's true. Yeah, man, we're just alike, me and MJ. Okay, next topic.
Are we moving on already?
I mean, there's not too. All I'm gonna say is the Pelicans and Wolves being at 11 and 10 is just. I mean, I'd much rather watch them than the Suns, like easily. I don't know. I understand that like
Pelicans, yes. Wolves with it's gonna be interesting to see.
it's interesting. You have Ant,
Gobert and Cat.
Cat. You know, I guess
Either
Cat's cool.
Gobert and Cat is like perfect or it's a shit show.
Like, do you understand how poor of a defensive front court they have now?
No, dude. Imagine if they play a team like. Fuck, hold on. I'm trying to think of like a small ball team.
Warriors.
What do you mean a poor defensive front
Yeah.
court?
Dude, no, if they play the Warriors, bro, that's a nightmare.
Okay, neither Cat or Gobert can guard the perimeter at all.
Gobert can.
I mean,
can.
he can a little. I clowned him, but he
Yeah, a
kind of
little bit.
can.
But when he's like in that Clipper series, he was made like a primary perimeter defender, and that's where he got exposed.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he had to help on all of the Clippers players driving in. It wasn't like he was getting cooked one-on-one, you know, with the player dribbling on him.
Yeah.
So
if they let's say they play the Warriors, you're either having Cat or Gobert guard Wiggins.
yeah,
If they go with a small ball lineup.
that's true.
Hold on.
I don't know.
I thought of this like earlier, and I want to see what you guys think. Who do you think, like, in the last 10 years, 10, 20 years, besides Steph Curry, is like who has revitalized the position, where like everybody plays like them now, at that position, or like that's the mold, like that's what you need to be at that position to be good.
Shane Battier, I don't know. You know how many defensive fours there
Okay,
are? Or,
yes.
3 and D fours there are now?
Maybe Harden.
An
In terms
ISO
of
point
the
guard.
the isolation play.
How many people play like him now though? That's what I'm trying to say. Like in today's NBA,
In the NBA.
in today's NBA, like every like player like that that's like good at that position, you're like, wow, they play like
in
them.
the last
Yeah.
10 years.
I thought of like a
I'd be
really.
tempted to say Cat.
Ooh. I mean,
I was-
I
I
would
was
say
actually- that was my
Dirk
first
before
thought,
Cat.
Dirk, but you're talking about in the last 10. Well, I guess Dirk.
I'd say like 10,
Dirk
20.
did play
yeah.
center though.
10 to, so if you're talking 10 to 20, I'm saying Dirk. Because if you look at the way the bigs play now.
I wouldn't even be mad at KD if you said KD.
Even KD, but KD is not a big in the traditional
If you look at like how people like the rookies that are coming in now, they all 6'8", 6'9", dribble, shoot. That's all they can do.
Yeah.
KD.
True.
But I actually thought of like a weird one, and it was Dwight Howard. Like if you think about prime Dwight Howard and you look at like today's like centers that are like good defensively,
Like a Robert Williams.
like Robert Williams,
or
Bam Adebayo,
or-
like those
Yeah,
type of
I know, I
molds.
could see
Yeah,
that
That's
for
true.
sure.
like athletic centers that play defense.
But how much of that is actually contributed to play style and not just the build that fits the modern NBA?
No, I'm saying like they're still like, I get what you're saying play style, but like if you look at like the centers now, they're all just like on good teams. Like look at good teams centers. Like even Clint Capella, he's athletic, bro. Like he
Yeah.
like
He's also 7'1".
yeah. I'm saying
He's not.
yeah.
He's not in the same.
I'm talking like the centers nowadays, bro. Like they just remind me of Dwight, like a 6'10" center that can just jump out the building.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Shane Battier. So, I don't care.
That's a good.
There's no Jay Crowder without Shane Battier.
There isn't. Take a charge, bro.
So PJ Tucker is.
Oh, come on.
There's a lot of
Shane
defensive
Battier
forwards.
changed. Sean Marion.
Sean Marion changed.
No one followed that. No one copied that jump shot. I'll tell you that. Oh my goodness. Okay,
Zesty ass jump shot.
topic number 3. You want to go ahead and get into it?
Yeah.
Um,
what are we talking about?
We'll do the Draymond thing. Does Draymond Green deserve a max extension?
What?
Do we got time?
We'll be fine if we speed.
We have
through
9 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got
Honestly, we could just end it at. We could do like 45 minutes.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
Draymond Green, does he deserve a max extension? By any way, shape, or form, Draymond Green does not deserve a max
Easily.
extension from any team in the NBA. Okay, he deserves he's a great player, but if you do you guys understand how much money a max contract is? Like $35 million a year for Draymond Green. Absolutely not. No.
yeah. I think Draymond. It's a little bit different. I think he deserves it, but I do not think that Draymond Green. I don't think he's worth a max contract. Is it off? Oh, okay. Draymond Green, yeah, he's not worth a max contract, but he kind of deserves it for what he did in the past. He kind of took a little bit of a pay cut before, but like he doesn't. It wouldn't be smart to give him a max contract because no other team would. So that means he doesn't deserve it. If that makes any sense. What do you think?
So I've actually put a good amount of thought into this, being a Warriors fan, thinking about whether or not he deserves a max extension. I would agree with you. I don't think any other team is going to give him. Any other team in their right mind is going to give him a max extension, except. I could see the Cavs giving him a max extension. I could see the Cavs giving him a contract like that.
For him to play the 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He's just like a
that doesn't
taller
sound
like Pat Bev that can't. But Pat Bev's a better shooter.
Yeah, but what is Darius Garland like? He's like.
I guess
the
he
guy-
does play
Isaac
like
Okoro.
Curry.
What are they gonna do? What is he gonna do, bro?
I mean, Isaac, of
Same
course,
thing
no
he does
one
for the
that.
Warriors.
I guess, but like Draymond at max deserves like 25 million if you're being generous.
but,
If
like,
you're being generous.
Honestly, for the Warriors, coming at it from two angles. One, what he brings to the team. I don't
He's
think
aging. You're not getting. I'm not giving him that contract.
he is aging, and it's but.
You're gonna pay like a 33.
Unfortunately, for the Warriors system to work, you need a Draymond-esque player, right? Kuminga isn't there yet. Wiggins
If you
isn't
wanna
going to
go.
fill that. Yeah. Kuminga isn't there yet. He's not ready to fill that role as a defender or as a passer. And there's just no one else on that team right now that can fill that role. And watching the Warriors without Draymond, it really emphasizes his impact because Steph has such a harder time getting open when Draymond isn't on the floor.
Yeah.
Like Steph's off-ball movement is great. Obviously, it's 1-1. You know, there's no one else in the league that replicates his off-ball movement to the same efficiency. But without Draymond on the floor, setting screens, clearing space, looking for Steph all the time, constantly like looking to pass and having his head up, you just don't get the same open looks with anyone on the floor really. But it especially affects Steph's ability to get open. If he could improve his shooting, I think that would change the conversation a lot. If he could get back to shooting the way he was in 16, 17, you know, somewhere in that 37% range from three. But honestly, right now, I think he deserves a max extension from the Warriors because he's been there for all 4 championships. He's been a key player in all 4 championships. And he's stayed loyal. He's been there the whole I just don't from an organizational point
He's
of view.
replaceable, bro. Let's be
He's
honest.
not. Okay, that's
He's
that's
not though
that's
because
crazy.
the problem is with the way the Warriors system works. Who are you gonna put in there to replace?
Trade for
Draymond
Ben
with?
Simmons, like
Okay.
You know what? That was actually something.
Trade
I
for
was-
Ben Simmons.
That's actually a
when
good
Ben
point.
Simmons was on the trade block. I was like, Draymond's getting older. That would be the perfect trade.
Ben Simmons is just a better Draymond.
But right
They
now,
can't shoot.
the Nets are.
But they can't shoot.
The
Draymond
Nets
can
are
shoot
going to
anyway.
trade for Draymond.
But I mean, okay. So
You want
one,
Katie and Draymond on the same team
Instead of
again?
extending him, right? You trade Jordan Poole, and you get Ben Simmons.
why? Okay, that's bad. Okay, let me
You
say
can
the
find
first thing.
another Jordan
Okay,
Poole.
one thing.
You could.
Ben Simmons
In the
cannot
Warrior
replace.
system, you couldn't.
But
Get
we don't
outta
know.
here, bro.
I want to. You don't know how good Jordan Poole's going to be this year.
That is true.
Like, is he going to take that next step this year? Is he really going to Is he going to take off? And you're going to be like, damn, he's starting over Clay now.
He already is starting over Clay.
He's not going to.
We said this literally last
But he's not
time.
going to start over Clay to start the year.
Okay, listen. Both of you are being really disrespectful. One, Ben Simmons can't just replace Draymond Green. Maybe he's better. Maybe Ben Simmons is better than Draymond Green.
Can do
But
everything.
Draymond Green has the leadership. He has just the
That is true.
intensity. He actually cares. And I just
And you're telling me Steph doesn't have that? Like, there aren't other guys.
not to
on that team that
Draymond's
have that?
extent. No, Draymond's the leader of that team. He's not the best player.
I
but he's the
disagree.
leader.
I don't think Draymond's the leader.
Okay,
of
but
that
let me
team
get to you. You disrespected someone. You disrespected Draymond. Kuminga will never be Draymond. You even saying Kuminga doesn't have the passing yet, the defense yet. He never will be. And I don't even think
Well, I'm not
Kuminga
saying-
and Draymond play
I'm
the
talking
same.
about who they could have. I'm not saying Kuminga's ever going to get to that level. I'm saying on that team who they have now that could replace him, there's no one there that could replace him.
I
They have
mean,
no one to fill that role right now.
yeah, I think the Warriors just need to pay a little bit higher than what any other team would offer, and that's.
They've had no problem.
No
going to the luxury
team in the
tax to
league
pay.
is gonna offer Draymond a max,
That
except the
doesn't mean you
Warriors.
shouldn't.
Dog, you're gonna pay like a 37-year-old Draymond $35 million.
How old is he right now?
It's like what 33, 34?
He's not that old.
Max
I think
contract.
he's 33. I think he's 33, if I had to guess.
Oh.
But
He's 32.
he's
Okay.
32.
So you
And-
give
and
him a 4-year max. 4-year, 135 million. It's not worth it.
I'm not gonna lie, Kuminga's like out of there.
Yeah.
Wiseman's definitely out of there.
Someone's
By the
gotta,
time,
no, someone's got to go.
No, someone's gotta
either
go.
you
So
resign
there's a-
Wiseman, Poole, or
So
Draymond,
the problem instead of being does Draymond deserve a max? It's can you give Draymond a max and
You can't. You gotta-
maintain the core of the team or the future core of the team, and
Nope.
you can't because you got to pay Poole.
You got to pay Poole.
I'm sorry, Poole.
You got to pay him.
Poole to me is almost a priority over Draymond, just because like you're saying, Draymond's getting older. Poole should only get better.
yeah.
Draymond's gonna regress. Like we're already watching it happen.
Either you
with
gotta,
his back issues
either
and
you
with other
you
stuff
pay
like that. He's
Draymond
just-
and trade Clay, which I don't. You might do that. You could do that.
I mean, that I feel like is the most realistic option.
I feel like the Warriors are almost waiting to see what happens this year because, is Clay gonna come back and, after a full off season of working out and a full year of healing, is he gonna come back and be the Clay of old or at least comparable to that? Is Jordan Poole gonna take that next step and become, the next potential face of the team? Is Kuminga going to, even out like smooth
Find out
that-
next
his
time
game and-
on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I don't know.
Corny as shit. But I feel like there's a lot of unknowns for the Warriors. Wiseman. Is Wiseman going to play like a number 2 overall pick or even comparable to that? And I think, we get halfway through this season, approach the trade deadline, there might be some moves made by the Warriors depending on how guys perform.
I mean, it's obvious they don't need Wiseman. Technically, they don't need him. I'd say
Technically, but honestly, Corby,
Dog, ship me Wiseman to LA. Like
we
I need
need a center, like a legitimate center that can protect the rim. Looney, just playoff Looney, man.
I mean he did his
He
thing.
did. He went crazy in the playoffs, but
Draymond stopping.
honestly, I don't see if they come up against Jokic again with that Nuggets team with Jamal
You don't
Murray
want
and
it.
Michael Porter Jr.
You don't want
no,
it.
I don't want
You
that.
don't want it.
I want someone who can actually defend Jokic.
I
Because
have to-
as much as Draymond did a decent job on Jokic, like he had one strip at the end of a game and like played physical with him. One, the refs did let him get away with a lot of stuff in that series. He was
They did,
really
yeah.
physical with Jokic, and in the regular season, I think a lot more of that gets called. And also, Jokic averaged like 35.
He had
12,
no
and
help.
7, and he had no help. So you put Jamal Murray on that team, even
But
just
Jamal Murray, KCP, and MPJ
I
back.
don't want to come up against that team without someone who
Winning
can defend
it
Jokic a
all.
little bit.
They're winning it all.
Like
They're winning it all. Winning it all.
that is the worst possible matchup for the Warriors.
The worst matchup for any
maybe.
team in the league.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's a topic for
If
another
I'm
time.
the Bucks, I'm not
in the
even
West,
joking.
who? Nah, we're
I'm
not.
not
doing this,
e-
we're not doing this, we're not doing this.
In the West, I mean, depending on how the Lakers do this year, Anthony Davis defending. Jokic.
That's about it. But
I was even gonna say West
I'll
team.
take that.
Lakers suck.
I'll even take the. I mean, I don't know how good the Suns are going to be this year, but I don't have a problem with Ayton guarding Jokic.
I cannot wait for our predictions. We could even do it next week.
No,
could.
we
So the
can't. You
Suns
can't
are-
do that shit. Now. You gotta do it like a week before the first
Yeah,
game.
you gotta.
What are we waiting for? Carmelo Anthony signing?
No, it's just like you can't do it now because like things will change, bro. Things will change.
We could talk. Well, you'll find out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
You're going to be patient. Jesus.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else you guys want to say?
No, I got nothing more to say.
NFL starts next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
College
Those
football
mid
this
leagues.
weekend.
Let's go.
My dad's at the Georgia game right now, so hopefully
Right
we're
now?
going. Well,
Like right now,
yeah, actually, he's standing in line waiting.
at this very moment.
24 hours before the game starts. Okay. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.